internet. What am I doing? Castrum something. Marinum. Okay. Still tied. Oh yeah. Deep breaths, Konog. Just act natural. Confident. You can do this. Yeah! Fluffy, good to see you. Who's your friend? He seems eager. Lolly ho! I would like some mead, please, ma'am. Well, I can't say no to one who asks so nicely. And any friend of Fluffy's is welcome here. I'll bring out our finest. Did you see? I did it. Ah, it feels so good to be working toward a goal again. Here we are. Thank you, ma'am. I think this should be sufficient payment. Let's hurry back. As exhilarating as this adventure has been, I want to make a gift of the mead right away. Is it a barter system, or did he just phrase it weird? Would you like to come with me? When I deliver the mead, I mean. Of course I will. I appreciate it. I admit that I'm a bit nervous. This is my chance to help, if only in a small way, so I have to take it. Is it upstairs? That's caps lock, not shift. Bum, bum. Excuse us. We wanted to offer our best wishes and my sincere apology as well. I know it doesn't come close to making up for what you've been through, but I brought you this. I thought that maybe you could share it later. Go away. We don't want anything from you. Oh. All I want is for you to sod off so that me and my wife never have to see you again. I'm sorry. Konog sounded to be in considerable distress. You had best follow him, lest he come to harm. Tonal shift. The bottle of mead that Konog had so earnestly wished would cheer the unfortunate couple now lies forlorn. Lally, we've got another situation in our beards. Ho! Konog just ran right past me toward the crater. I don't know about you, but I'd really rather not have him there by himself, especially not when he's so upset. I could hear the sobs from yalms away. What's that all about? There's this injured woman. Let's see. And, we tried to give her beer. It's a tragic state of affairs all around. The man you met, his wife, was with child before her injury. Can't blame him for lashing out, given the circumstances. That doesn't mean Konog deserves to take the brunt of it all. I'd consider it a personal favor if you'd find him and tell him so. Another personal favor, at any rate. He's not the most athletic dwarf I've ever met, so with any luck, he won't have gotten far while we've been talking. I'll go and have a word with certain folk in the village. See if we can't repair some of the damage that's been done. In the crater. What does that mean? Oh. It's kind of funny to imagine him riding the little bot while in this state. Find no sign of the dwarf you seek, a state of affairs that you are becoming all too familiar with. I'm getting so overheated. What the heck? Why is it so warm? This is it, the emerald weapon. I've been expecting you, hero of Eorzea. Look, Father, this is the power that we command. Mark 5. What a active little hazard. Yeah. It's got so many hands on that side of the room. Keeps happening to me. Both of our healers. So it's come to this. No matter what, I can't afford to lose. Not even you can beat the Empire's finest. Activating Oversoul. Baelsar combat data ready. Initiating organic core. Ali, Alphonse, this is goodbye. Vex, what have you done? The meaning of this. Wait, that glow. Bear witness to the glory of the Empire. was worth it. At the time of the invasion, the synthetic Auracite be causing this. Oops. Did the tanks get caught in my knockback thing? Oh. Dumb button press. Bam, 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 bam. And so it ends. But why would Rex throw away his life for this? You're right. If I'm ever to learn the truth, I must concentrate on the task at hand. Of course, we do not need to wait for Sid's analysis to tell us whose combat data was used on this occasion. It galls me to think that my techniques and strategies could be so closely replicated. Nevertheless, the observations I made during the battle may yet prove useful. As a matter of fact, that was not the only information I was able to gather. I intercepted a signal that revealed the troops stationed here were permitted to withdraw, seemingly in return for assisting the 7th Legion. They must have known that the Alliance would follow the Emerald Weapon here sooner or later and made good their escape. Meaning the way is now clear for Sid to inspect the War Machina's remains. Got here as soon as we could. Not that we could have done anything to prevent this tragedy. From what we know, it seems that the Emerald Weapon was ilm for ilm a great deal more powerful than the previous two. This is allowed to continue, who knows what sort of monstrosity the 7th Legion will conceive next. Nevertheless, Fluffy was once again proven himself capable of overcoming the worst the Empire has at its disposal. You may be relieved to hear that Castrum Occidens was free of anything resembling a weapon. Unfortunately, it was also devoid of any useful leads, and we came away empty-handed. In all honesty, part of me wishes we had never found the Emerald Weapon. Perhaps then, Rex would not have been forced to make the ultimate sacrifice. I only hope that he is finally at peace. We will do what we can to spare others from sharing his fate. I and the Ironworks will search this place from top to bottom for clues as to the 7th Legion's plans. For that, allow me to sweep the area for booby traps and the like. I would not put it past the Imperials to have left a few surprises for us. Agreed. I'll go with you. That in mind, I'll begin my examination of the Emerald Weapon. Careful, that is. Carefully, that is. Back story. Alphonse, you knew all this time. You knew all this time, didn't you? Melisandre and Rickon, too. Everyone except me. And you, Rex? Yes, that's what the synthetic Auracite system is. The fusion between pilot and core is the key to Oversoul. And unless we use it, we don't have a chance of beating Father's newfound friends. They stand between us and the primals, without which the weapons will never reach their full potential. We thought that if you knew the truth about Oversoul, you'd try to stop us. So, there's one person with sense, I guess. Of course I would. What I don't understand is why all of you are so willing to give your lives for the weapon project. What is it all for? It all began the day Father left. Without his guidance, his protection, the Garleans lost any respect they once had for us. But their cruelty pales in comparison to Valen's. To him, conscripts like us are expendable commodities, an endless supply of test subjects for his twisted experiments. But no matter what they do to us, we will never lose hope. If it is the duty of the strong to lead the weak, we will become strong and protect those who cannot protect themselves. The weapon project will give us the strength we need. We will create a world where people like us can live without fear of persecution. We want you to see this new world for yourself, Allie, even if we must give our lives to make it a reality. But why me? The years spent serving the Empire has changed us all, except you, Allie. Even after everything you've seen, you're still the caring, innocent girl we grew up with. More than any of us, you deserve a chance at happiness. That's what we all agreed. Allie, listen to me. Right now, the soldiers assigned to watch over us have been called away to the capital. Now is our chance to get you out of here. Then why don't you come with me? If Alphonse and I were to run away now, they'd only force others to take our place. We can't let that happen. This is our way of upholding the ideals Father instilled in us. Our lives are a small price to pay for Wurlit's freedom. No, how can you expect me to leave you behind? I won't do it. You'll forever be at your side, Allie. Rex, take her to the holding cells. No, let me go! So win or lose, the plan is to hand over the castrum to Father, is that right? Yes, they'll take Allie into their custody before the Garleans return, while you will be free to pilot the emerald weapon without her interfering. We can't let her hinder the completion of the weapon project. I'm counting on you, Alphonse. Don't let our sacrifices be in vain. Rex, have you forgotten what I told you? You mustn't use Oversoul. I can't lose you too. We both know I can't win without it. Besides, we need the combat data of the emerald weapon fighting at its peak if we're to have any chance of perfecting the synthetic Arcite system. You know I'm not the sort to do things by halves. Forgive me, Rex. Don't you worry about me. This is where I meet my end. I'll do it with a smile on my face. The rest is up to you, Alphonse. These guys have spent too much time around the army. This is the girl you spoke of, yes? She was locked in a cell, but I saw no harm in letting her out. Can't say for certain, but it seems she's been through quite an ordeal. No. Why, Rex? Why? Gaius. Once we've extracted the core, we'll take it back to Turncliffe for analysis. Perhaps she should come with us? There's no use in her staying here. Severa is taking care of Allie, but it may be some time until her nerves have settled. The vision you witnessed is indeed true. Alphonse and Rex locked her away for her own safety. She is ready. I would know more of what her brother hopes to achieve and why he must resort to such desperate measures. Allie's condition has improved somewhat, but she remains in a state of shock. We must give her more time to recover. There was one other thing that I thought you should know. When we checked her for injuries, we saw that her back is covered in welts and bruises. Who did this to her? It seems she was subjected to beatings on a regular basis, judging by the varied stages of bruising. I dare say this was the work of her Garlean masters. You speak as though you have seen this before. Seen? I have lived through it myself. I was born in Werlet, 23 summers past. My mother was a local woman, but my father was a pure-blooded Garlean and a member of the occupying forces. Though I know very little about him, his rank afforded me imperial citizenship. His acknowledgement of our familial ties was the extent of the responsibility he took for bringing me into this world. Still, it is more than can be said for most of his ilk. My mother and I were shunned by the people of Werlet, who treated us as badly as the Garleans did, if not worse. I thought that if I were to become an imperial soldier, my position might somehow deter those who would cast scorn on my mother, if only out of fear, and so I joined the army. The acceptance I earned was but temporary, however, and my superiors were quick to blame any perceived shortcomings on my savage lineage. Rather than waste time on official court-martials, they administered their own form of corporal punishment. I was eventually assigned to the 12th Legion and fought under Zenos Ye Galvus in Alamigo. In the chaos that followed our defeat, I seized the opportunity to flee to Werlet. While it was never much of a home, it was all I had. Nothing could prepare me for what awaited. My mother had for many years suffered from poor health and relied on medicine to keep her alive. In my absence, the Garleans had denied her treatment, claiming that it would be wasted on savages. By the time I could return to her side, there was naught I could do. There was nothing left for me in Werlet. I would be punished for desertion if the Imperials discovered the reason for my return, and I was never accepted by my so-called countrymen to begin with. I ran as far as my legs could carry me. It was then that I met Gaius. So that is the truth of it. Other than a few scant details, I knew naught of your past. It sickens me to think that I once fought under the same banner as such vile creatures. I'd always believed it to be the duty of the strong to lead the weak. Yet there are those who become drunk on the power afforded by their station, and prey on the ones they should protect. Like a canker, this corruption has spread to every part of the Empire. Even those with Garlean blood, such as myself, are subjected to their cruelty. They hold particular contempt for the Aura, an easy target for abuse being so few in number. Perhaps, like me, Allie thought she would be spared such treatment once she joined the army. Alas. I only hope that with time, Allie can put the past behind her and make a new life for herself. But for now, all we can do is wait for her delirium to subside. It is Valdalen's turn to keep watch. Let us ask him if there has been any change. Saw that good in uniform. I was like, wait, what? Is just Garleans hanging out here? Suppose you're here to ask about Allie. Is she well enough to speak with us? As her condition has improved somewhat, I would say so, provided you do not cause her any undue distress. Wait here. Allie, I'm sorry. What happened to Rex? It was my fault. Melisandre and Rickon too. They died because of me and my foolish ambitions. Father, no. This cannot go on. Please, Allie, you must tell me all you know. Of course. First, I need to know what became of you and your siblings after we were parted. So much has happened. It seems like a lifetime ago. After your disappearance, we were all assigned to the newly formed 7th Legion. At first, each legatus was quickly replaced by the next, until eventually a man named Valens van Varo was given command. He was sent from the capital, but before that, he was a specialist in experimental magitech weaponry. We later discovered that he was ordered by Emperor Varus to complete a project involving anti-primal war machina, the weapons. But after the Emperor's death, he was free to employ whatever methods he saw fit, and his greed for power only grew. Some even say he's planning to use the power of the weapons to lay claim to the throne. But I think there's another reason for his obsession with the weapon project. Not that he'd ever tell anyone, but he's always muttering to himself, and I've been able to put the pieces together. He's jealous of you, Father. Valens van Varo. I must admit, it was only recently that I first heard that name. Valens used his knowledge of magitech to devise various military strategies. He was given a position in the army and quickly rose through the ranks. That was until one man stood in his way. You, Father. He was one of the candidates to lead the new 14th Legion, but that role fell to you. After that, he was assigned to serve under a far more gifted engineer, Nero, who was in charge of restoring the ultimate weapon. Valens has resented you ever since, going so far as to oppose the ideal. Never ceases to amaze me how far some will go in the name of revenge. All that hatred festering away. Nothing good could ever come of it. So, the marks on your body are his handiwork. Yes, to Valens and his men, we are no more than fodder for his experiments, playthings on which they can vent their frustrations. Every day is filled with nothing but pain. If I had remained in Garlemald, you would never have been forced to endure this abuse. It's not your fault, Father. We could have fled from Valens if we'd wanted to. After all, we're expendable and easily replaced. The truth is, that's exactly why we couldn't run. In saving ourselves, we'd be condemning others. But if we were to stay, to see the weapon project to its completion, we would gain the power to defeat Valens and then the Empire itself, freeing the world from its tyranny. That way, we might start afresh and find a place we can call home. And not just for us, but for anyone who wishes to live in peace. You would give your lives for a future you may not live to see. You took courage from your teachings, Father. The strong must lead the weak, and we would gain that strength by whatever means necessary. We will fight for the sake of those who cannot. But we knew that you'd never consent to our participation in the weapon project, which is why we couldn't turn to you for help. As the pilots, we're the only ones who are able to stop Valens. We know just how powerful the weapons are. He would use them to bring the world to its knees. And his masterpiece is the worst of them all. If only I could get my hands on it. Then I could save Alphonse and all of Werlyt. Father, I know you and Alphonse stand on opposing sides of this conflict, but there must be some way you can help him. He may have called you our enemy before, but he never meant it. He still loves you, Father. You are everything he aspires to be. I have failed him, failed you all. But I refuse to abandon him to his fate. I will free him from Valens, if it is the last thing I do. Thank you. He needs you, now more than ever. Psst. Alphonse must not follow in my footsteps. I know all too well where they lead. I will do all I can to help your brother. Pray, tell me where he is. He's... I'm sorry, I don't know where he could be. In that case, I shall have the Alliance dispatch scouts. Wherever he is, we will find him. As for you, Ali, we must stay here and rest. Wait, you're the one who fought Rex, Rickon, and Melisandre, aren't you? Yep. We're the ones who threatened your homeland. You only did what you had to do. I know. I have no right to ask this of you, but... lend my father your strength. Save Alphonse. I know now why they call you hero. Alphonse, I'll do what I must to free you, even if it means going against father's wishes, but I have a good feeling about this, about his new friend. Oops. Clicking a lot. Our allies must be informed of these troubling events. May I ask you to relay this news to the troops in Garabania? Your loving father act may fool the others, Gaius, but not me. For every life you've saved, you've ended 1,000 more. Or is this your idea of redemption? Call it what you will. For all my transgressions, I believe I still have a part to play. Was I wrong to spare you that day? Will you honor your word? It seems the time has come for the Black Wolf to show his true colors. Bum, 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 bum. We recently received word of your victory over the Emerald Weapon. I expect it was another fine display on your part. Not that any of us were there to see it. For that reason, we'd be grateful if you could give us a blow-by-blow account, if you wouldn't mind. Good grief, sounds like you had an awful lot to contend with. Rather you than me. Ahem. Shall add this to our ever-growing stack of reports, should anyone wish to review this information ahead of the next sortie. Now, if I may say so, it looks like your ordeals have taken their toll. We'll let you know if anything requires your attention, but Until then, be sure to get some rest. Meanwhile, in the 7th Legion. Three weapons, three pitiful displays of ineptitude. Ah. To make matters worse, one of my prime candidates, your precious sister, no less, has escaped. And who should she go crawling to but that swine, Gaius, after everything I've done for her. And this is how she repays me. As her older brother, it's your responsibility to instill some discipline in her, and you've failed miserably. No, don't just stand there, boy. Of course, it's your first time, isn't it? Come along, there's no need to be shy. Why did they make a reveal out of that? Does that face mean anything? See, something wicked has taken hold of this young man, and it's our job to cleanse his troubled spirit. It may look painful, but it's the only way, I assure you. He'll be ever so grateful, and you want him to get better, don't you? There's a good boy. Now, let's try again, shall we? Burn out the bad. 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 Burn, 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 burn out the bad. Gah. Well done. You've all made Father proud. Very proud indeed. As for you, I thought you were cut above the rest of the savages, but it appears I was mistaken. Since you allowed that wretched sister of yours to escape, it falls to you to act as her replacement. I choose you as the next pilot, and your mission is simple. Kill Gaius van Baelsar, whatever it takes, and if you so much as entertain the idea of betraying me again, I'll exterminate every last one of your kind. Like the firemen they are. Having said that, we'll be forcibly initiating Oversoul using Xenos' combat data, so whatever schemes you may be hatching will never come to pass. All you need to do is sit back and let the synthetic Aurosite system do the work, with you as its conduit. You should thank me for allowing you to become part of my masterpiece. Your worthless existence will finally have some semblance of meaning. Heh heh heh. Preparation of the Oversoul trial are complete. We await your orders. Splendid. There's never a dull moment around here. Now then, boys, who'd like to see something special? Come along, everyone. Father has secrets to share with you. My chance. It's all thanks to the sacrifices made by my dear siblings. Finally, the weapon will be mine to command. Once it has reached perfection, I will be unstoppable. First villains and the Empire itself will fall, and we will be free at last. Father, keep Ali safe. Melisandre, Rickon, Rex. I'll see this through to the end, I promise. Until then, watch over me. So, is it ready or not? File sequence has been primed, sir. Then get on with it. Initiating synthetic Aurosite system. Loading diamond weapon simulation. What's going on? You're helping us with a little research, Zal. Ah, whatever your name is. The time has come for you to contribute to the glory of Garlemald. This isn't what we agreed. You said that if I took part in the experiment, you'd let my family go. You have Xenos' data uploaded, yes? Activate Oversoul and be quick about it. Understood, Lord Valence. Galvus combat sample ready. Initiating organic core override. Gah. My mind is no. If this is what it takes to protect you both, I love you. I'm sorry. Where is my prey? Organic core override complete. Xenos Ye Galvus data loaded. The subject is instinctively bound to seek out prey, right from the outset, regardless of the combat prowess it may boast. I need an obedient servant, not a ravenous beast. Enough. Shut it down. Deactivating synthetic parasite center. Water. How revolting. What a mess it makes of the cockpit. Adjust the settings and prepare for another run. Fortunately, we have the next test subject ready and waiting. But sir, you agreed to release his family in exchange for his cooperation. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. My, I never knew you had such a wonderful sense of humor. The great Valens Van Varo bargaining with savages. I'm a fool. Him for trusting me in the first place. Two quest. So sleepy. Be just how does the statue have floaty hands? It's magic. so sleepy. Yeah, Fluffy, I was hoping I might have a word with you. Security's written keeping the place safe. There are countless other problems that need contending to. If you can spare the time, we could use your help. Bless you, Fluffy. You're really a saint. You're the one who piloted that war machina and defeated the Sapphire weapon, aren't you? Thought so. I've heard much about you, but I doubt you know who I am. My name is Avelina. I grew up here. When I was 16, I was put into work as a Magitech engineer. Thanks to you and yours, we are now rid of the Imperials, though I fear many of us will struggle to put the past behind us. For decades, we suffered at their hands. Generations of young people were forced into the army and sent off to die in some distant land. I suppose I could be considered one of the lucky few. We were kept... my work here kept me away from the battlefield, and I hoped that my comprehension might help the others live long enough to make their way home. In the end, most of them never returned. Though my efforts were in vain, I can at least honor their memory. I wanted to leave something behind for their sake, to prove that they haven't been forgotten, a monument bearing their names. To ensure that not a single person is omitted, I need to see the official list of conscripts, if one still exists. It would be inside the Imperial facility beneath the town, but with the Resistance troops and Ironworks engineers closing the place off, I can't get near it. To ensure that not a single person... Perhaps you might have a word with them for me? I'll leave as soon as I find the list. Okay. We'll follow your lead. It's crazy how sleepy I'm getting. Keep getting baffled by it. Something I can help you with. I see. It's a bit unusual for one of the locals to show an interest in the Imperial's leavings, but it seems she has her reasons. Since we're still carrying out our investigations, we've closed the place off to prevent anyone interfering. Certainly, considering it's you who's asking, though, I can hardly say no. Still, I'd better go with her, in case the others kick up a fuss. You're very kind. Sorry for your trouble I've caused. You have my thanks. Think nothing of it. I was glad to help. As I'd suspected, the Imperials kept detailed records of the local conscripts. One name in particular stood out to me. My friend, Melisandre. I had no idea she'd been assigned to the 7th Legion, of all places. How did you know her? all began while we were serving together in the 14th Legion. No, yeah. We had much in common, both being drafted from the same occupied territory, and we soon became friends. Then one day she was sent to fight in Eorzea while I remained here. The day before she left, she came to say goodbye, together with her foster siblings from the orphanage. The youngest one, Rickon, was particularly upset about not being allowed to speak with their adopted father, Gaius van Belsar, before they departed. It was actually another of his orphans, Livia Sans Julianus, who forbade them from seeing him. I can't say for certain, but it seemed that Livia had a strong attachment to Gaius and wouldn't let anyone else near him. As far as I could tell, he tried his best to keep Livia at arm's length whenever possible, but her devotion to him was intriguing on obsession. Bordering on obsession. What the heck? And she became extremely jealous at the slightest sign of affection between him and his other wards. Others, however, treated them far more kindly. In fact, a Praefectus Castorum of the 14th Legion came specifically to meet him. While I was surprised that a Rogadin had risen to such a rank, I was even more taken aback by the unguarded manner in which he spoke with his subordinates. I believed that I'd hoped that with people like him serving on the Eorzean front, they would be in safe hands. Then the time came for Melisandre to leave. We shared a few final words, and then she was gone. It'd be the last I ever saw of her. After that, I was assigned to the Tribunus Laticivius of the 14th, Nero Tol Sceva, and I worked on restoring the ultimate weapon. I was born even at the Praetorium on the day it was destroyed, but I escaped aboard an Imperial ship moments before it came crashing down. Eventually made my way back to Werlet, only to be drafted into the 7th Legion to continue working on the weapon project. Oh, my sleepiness went away for a bit. Even now, it makes me sick to my stomach to think I'd helped bring those abominations into the world. Now I can watch the recording of me falling asleep while reading. Using a living pilot to feed the weapons core was part of the design from the very beginning. Of course, they'd never dream of subjecting a trueborn Garlean to such barbaric treatment, not when the 7th Legion has a ready supply of provincial conscripts ripe for the taking. The pilots were referred to only by their code names, and we engineers were not made privy to their true identities. Even with this list of conscripts, I still don't know who was sacrificed in the name of the weapon project. Let's bring an end to the weapon project together. What can I do? For years, all I've known is how to build tools of destruction. The 7th Legion is far from finished. They're biding their time, waiting until the right moment to unleash the final weapon. And when they do, it will bring naught but death and woe to all who stand in their way. Even after everything they've taken from us, they still want more. If it weren't for the Empire, Melisandre would still be here. She was the kindest person I ever met, but to the Empire, she was just another pawn in their games. I will never forget her. There's a way I can make a difference. I know there is. But first, I need to speak with members of the Ironworks. I have a feeling that War Machina you used to beat the Sapphire weapon will be called into action again. Until then, there's still time to make improvements, and I intend to help. I'll still be going ahead with the plan to build a monument, but stopping the Empire must come first. I hope Melisande and the others can wait a little longer. Before I go, allow me to express my gratitude. Don't know what I'd have done if it weren't for you. Until we meet again. To be honest, I was falling asleep. I don't know what I did for you. Oh my god. It doesn't seem like I'm capable of continuing. Probably as soon as I end stream though, I'll be awake. So, there's that. But I think in stream I will.